The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final two bring us as we're off in Week 9? This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. Spinning away. And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. Now whistles, and we've got a man down. A man down here following the kickoff. We'll step aside and get an update when we return to Arrowhead. First down. Turner, and able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It'll go as a gain of 11 and a Jets first down. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage. 2
yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Well, he's looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it.
So those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And he slings one that's incomplete.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
And on 3rd and 8, defensively, they're going to beef up the secondary. 6 defensive backs. Petty now. And he can't bring it in. Incomplete. He dropped it on the crossing route. 4th down now.
I wonder, Brandon, I just wonder, you think maybe he was worried about where he was on the field? Was he far enough? Was he close enough to the first down sticks?
Absolutely. He was right there by him, and I think he was thinking first down before he caught that football.
Yeah, got to catch it first, because if you don't catch it, there's no chance of picking up a first down.
Yeah, last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line. And now here comes Kansas City. And not great starting field position here for the offense. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And they'll mark him down right around the 9, just shy of the 10. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and it'll make it a 2nd down.
Here we go.
Back to throw. And the Jets pressure too much as down he goes. They said there was a lot of discussion in their defensive team meeting room after last week's performance. They had 7 sacks. Something in the water. There's one in the first quarter.
A lot of discussion, a lot of excitement, because now everyone wants to get involved with this. Who's going to continue that process? Who's going to get to the quarterback this week? But they have to be careful. When you have that much pressure, they want to use it against you. Draws, screens, those types of plays.
We'll see if they do that. Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on 3rd down. Now we give to the up man. That's Sherman. And he will forge his way forward only up to the 2-yard line. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
I'm not sure how much I really love that call. It almost seems like a little bit of a give up there. But maybe what they were thinking is, we've got a chance to pop one. They think we're just going to give up here, hand it to the big man, and maybe he can get through. Sometimes there's a little bit of courage in play calling that maybe we don't give enough credit.
Taking on the midfield logo.
Wrap up.
Still moving. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. And New York set to take the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. A gain of 6 there on first. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys? Coming off the last game you play on a Thursday night, guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often. Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
Here's Petty. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, they remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on third down to bring up fourth. Here's Lachlan Edwards now as he'll punt it away for the second time. And this will depend on the spot as it sails out of bounds. And they'll say it sailed out at the 10-yard line. And now here comes Kansas City. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. He came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
So they're still at the original line of scrimmage here. Second down and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is going to lose yardage here. He lost 2 there, and it's third down.
The evaluation process in today's NFL does not take into account as much bulk as it does speed, and that's what we're seeing with the linebacker position. Those guys that can run, they can play at any spot because they can make plays on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage.
And defensively, a dime look here. 6 DBs on 3rd and 12.
No surprise at all.
They'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. And taken at the 46. And he's out of bounds as he gets this down to the 45. 44-yard punt, return of 9. And the Jets will have a short field to work with as they take over 1st and 10. New York set to take the field. And this is their 3rd drive. Maybe the focus right now not so much on points, but getting their first down.
And when you start off a game, you don't even think that's an issue, do you? But you go a drive, a second drive, no first down, that becomes an issue. Now you got to think about, okay, what type of play calling do I have to do to get us in a spot to pick that first one up? Let's face it, perfection is something we all chase, whether it's playing this game or whatever we do. Hard to attain, but that's what they were searching for as that pass goes incomplete.
And 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw again. And he's taken down. A Chiefs sack. He didn't get rid of the football there, took the sack. Although that's easier said than done. He can't just chuck the thing sideways into the seats.
No, he really can't, because you're not afforded total protection as a quarterback. You have to get outside of the tackle boxes as defined by the NFL, meaning wherever your tackles operate normally, get outside of that. And the ball that you throw has to get back to at least the line of scrimmage. Otherwise, you face an intentional grounding call.
So a big sack on 2nd down. Now let's see what the offense has in store for 3rd. They'll look to throw here. Under pressure again, and down he goes again.
Well, we knew this guy wasn't especially fleet of foot, but he tried to conjure up some escapability, but there was no way he was getting away on that one.
Here's Lachlan Edwards now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. And now here comes Kansas City. This is their 3rd drive. Right now, maybe not about points, just about getting something. They haven't gotten a first down yet in this game.
It's a mental barrier you don't think about until you go a couple of drives without getting a first down. Then all of a sudden it looms big. It gets harder and harder to actually attain that first down.
Now a handoff looking right. And some room to maneuver. Shreds him with a stiff arm. A big hitter there. A first down gain of 26 yards.
Outside handoff to the right side. If you're a running back, you love getting the ball early so you have vision to see what's happening in front of you.
Right tackle likes that call. Big play for him. But don't forget about the guys you always tell me on the backside sealing off.
When they talk about cutoff blocks, making sure no one can leak from the backside that can run a play down.
And nobody leaked. Big play. They run the counter now on first down. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Defense able to get there, swarm to the football. Zilch, 0 nada there for the offense, Charles.
Yeah, it really was an example of good team defense, wasn't it? Everyone handled their responsibilities, and they held them to no gain.
Shot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete.
And right now I take my rudimentary kindergarten skills and draw where the tackle box would be, because that was close. I thought he was in the tackle box. He has to be very careful where he gets rid of the football from that spot.
Yeah, they say there was a receiver in the area, though.
Yeah. There's always a receiver in the area.
It's caught. Jones. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A pickup of 24 on the 3rd down conversion. He missed on his first 3 passes, was 0 for 3. Now gets a connection. Maybe that'll get him going.
Yeah, it wasn't a time for panic, but there was some concern, because once you start in a certain pattern, you're wondering, can you get out of it? And that flips the other way, too, when you're throwing it really well. In this case, now he's got his first completion. They think he might be off to the races.
On first down, they'll run it on the draw play. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack.
Not a blitz, but the guy who's normally the last line of defense recognized that he had a chance to get to the quarterback, and that's exactly what he did.
The Chiefs on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. He'll look to throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. So he can't hang on, and as I watched that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
And the kick by Butker is good. And the Chiefs are out to a 3-0 lead. So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
Yeah, as an offensive coordinator, if you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work. But in his defense, this has been a stifling defense so far. So they've got to start finding a way to unlock them as this game goes on.
This is taken at his 4. Dances by him. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. The Jets offense now works their way back onto the field. So far they've had 3 drives, 3 punts. Not good.
Not good indeed, because you've got to have something to show for being out on the field. Now sometimes if you have a game where neither side has scored, 3 punts isn't a bad thing. But when you're trying to set the pace, get up on top in a game, you got to show better offense and find a way to put some points on the board.
Now a play fake here on first down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. He'll look to throw. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. It's a gain of 5. And it's going to be 3rd down and a ways to go here. 3rd and 14. The Jets on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 14. Play action fake. They'll look to throw. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Lachlan Edwards now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. And before the punt, time is going to run out on this first quarter. 3-0 is our score, and we're back to Arrowhead after this. With Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin with you. It's the Jets in possession as we begin quarter number 2 here, but likely not for long as they're in punt formation to kick it away. Now Edwards to kick as he sends it away. Oh, shifty. Whoa. 42-yard punt, 6 on the return. And it's Chiefs football, 1st and 10. And now here comes Kansas City. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had a field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking. And
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
Now out of the gun, and he'll take this up over the 40 to about the 41. 3 yards on the pickup there, but they've only got it back to 3rd and 10.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense, and guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
First down, he'll drop to throw. Caught on the right side by Jones. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Over the middle, complete. That's Love. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
That's very well timed there defensively, because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. And that is caught for the touchdown, Kansas City. On those slants, everything happens so quickly. What makes it work?
The timing between the passer and the receiver. In this case, a slant route ordinarily is probably about 3 steps before you go on the slant. In this amount of time, I think it was a 2-step deal. Boom, put his foot in the ground and got inside for the pass.
Got inside for the pass, got inside for the catch and the score. Harrison Butker is on for the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 10-zip. So that drives 7 plays in length, and it's capped off with a Kansas City touchdown. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This one taken just inside the 10. Oh, he shifts past him. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. And he has not really been able to have a lot of comfort back there in the pocket. Pressure's been coming at him a lot, hasn't it?
And they've got to figure out how to tamp down that pressure. How do they decrease it? Is it getting rid of the football quicker? You know, shorter drops? Maybe they do something different with their pass blocking and their protection schemes. Maybe you meet them on the line of scrimmage instead of retreating to try and protect your quarterback. They've got to figure something out, though, because you cannot let your guy get hit that much, not if you intend to win.
Yeah, I know they'd like to erase that video and those 4 sacks that they've seen so far. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. Well, too much oomph, too much mustard there on that pass.
They really turned it loose, didn't they? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong. Didn't lead to a completion, though. Made it very difficult.
They'll set up to throw. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle third. He couldn't catch it. Now 3rd down.
That was a classic example of trying to run with the ball without securing the catch. He was thinking about those rack yards instead of making the catch first and then taking off.
The Jets on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. He'll drop to throw. And the 3rd down pass falls incomplete.
I know we're just in the 2nd quarter and there's a ways to go in this game, but that's his 2nd drop. I'm wondering if that's a little bit of an alarm bell for them when they start calling plays on the offensive side of the ball.
His eyes already looking upfield on that last one before he brought it in. And this will be up to the ruling of the side judge here. He says it crossed out of bounds at the 16-yard line. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the 2nd quarter.
And he doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back, and that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend. They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. And now a fumble. The ball's out. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. We'll step aside and get an update when we return to Arrowhead. So after nearly turning it over, new life here for the offense on 2nd down. Back to throw here. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
The Chiefs on 3rd down. 2 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
Looking to throw. And incomplete here on 3rd down.
It looked like they had something there, but I think that he was thinking about running with the football before he actually hauled it in, and that led to a big drop.
Here's Dustin Colquitt now as he's on to punt for Kansas City. He's been a busy man here in this 1st half as he gets it away. Fielded at the 43. 33 yards is the distance on the punt there. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. And now out come the Jets. If you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes a better punter may actually determine the outcome.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Now the ball comes loose, and it's picked up by the Chiefs. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line.
I know that taking care of the football is something that's drummed into every guy who plays this position, no matter what, whether he's running it, in the pocket, out of the pocket. But it's almost surprising to me that there aren't more fumbles by that position because of the way that they get attacked on each and every play.
Yeah, well, he had the fumble last week. Now here's 2 weeks in a row with a fumble loss.
Concentration has got to be there, and he's got to understand how much time he has to take care of a play, and maybe his clock is off just a little bit.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
That was a really nice play, be able to stack that one up. When they get back in the huddle, he's got to tell his guys up front, great job. They kept people off of him, allowed him to run free, and make the hit on the runner.
Filled the gap nicely, kept him to just a 1-yard gain. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Well, not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
They're going to look to throw. And he's got some space here. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. It's a gain of 7, and that's going to make it 4th down. Here's Dustin Colquitt now as he's on to punt for Kansas City. And a fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 18-yard line. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. Here he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. It hasn't been his day. It hasn't been their day to this point, but you know, some kudos to this crowd. This is not an easy environment to play in.
And they have to be really excited because they feel like they're having an impact on the game. The visiting quarterback not playing very well, their team not doing well. They're helping their home team out. Now, if you're that quarterback, though, you got to find a way to hurt that crowd. And the only way to do that, make good plays and try and calm them down.
I'm sure he's thinking it starts right here on this drive.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some muscle.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And I think the Chiefs have it. They do. A little careless with the football, and he also had a fumble loss last week, didn't he?
He certainly did, and when I'm watching him play, the one thing that comes to mind is always remember, traffic, turbulence, people around you, 2 hands. Get 2 hands on the ball. Grip it tight. I know it looks cool to have it in one hand. Put it away, tuck it away, because you've got to take care of the ball.
And out come the Chiefs now. They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot. Great opportunity to run your full playbook. They want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
And how about that, partner? That happened in a hurry. Sudden, explosive, gets into the backfield, and spills the play.
Yeah, he was AFC Defensive Player of the Week last week because of plays just like that. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. Now, that play was doomed right from the start.
Hey, just about ran into every defender on that one, didn't he? It felt like everyone got a piece of that tackle.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And unable to connect on the long pass. It falls down incomplete. Here's Dustin Colquitt now as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. And New York set to take the field. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we're having a tough patch, this too shall pass, and it finally kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here.
Here we go. Blue landing.
They'll drop the throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Hansen. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. Give him 15 yards on that one, and the Jets move the chains.
Thus far, it hasn't been a real fun half for them, but a play like that may get them off the schneid a little bit, get them loosened up and moving.
Kind of seems like they've been sleepwalking and still sitting on 0 points.
And it's not always making an adjustment. Sometimes it's just going back to what you know can work and finally getting it done.
When halftime rolls around in just a bit, we'll send you to Orlando. You will hear the dulcet tones of Mr. Larry Ridley with our EA Sports halftime report.
Does dulcet mean good?
Yeah, it's just something that broadcasters say. It's got to be good, right?
It's gotta be
you tell
good.
me.
Well, it's got to be good if Larry's doing it.
Back to throw now on first down. And he rifles one incomplete.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard.
Here we go. Green 39.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And he comes back with one complete. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. They'll set up a throw. And this one's incomplete. And here comes play number 6 on this drive. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the 1st down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10.
Here we go now.
Now back to throw. To the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. And his kick is good. Didn't hit it all that well, but he got enough on it to put it through. And they get themselves on the board here. It's 10-3. So a good kick there, and they wrap up the drive by putting 3 on the board.
And you know, let's face it, you're not always going to come away with 6. Defense in the NFL are just too good. But you've got to come away with something. And there, they get 3.
This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And now here comes Kansas City. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Pass interference. Defense.
So flag for the contact, pass interference.
And I know that you're going to look at me and roll your eyes, and rightfully so, because you know what I'm going to say. Doesn't the defender have a right to the football as well?
No, I don't like defenders.
That's because you spent too much time with me. Okay, I'll side with you on this one. It's the correct call.
Give him 13 yards there and a Kansas City first down. They'll look to throw now on first down, and that's incomplete. Side complete. It's Carter. And he'll be down deep into Jet territory. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. Now he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Butker now to add the extra point. It's up and good, and that makes it 17-3. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it winds up with the Chiefs hitting pay dirt. Is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. It's a short kick, taking it to 15. Then he breaks it all the way out to the 38-yard line. Great return. And New York set to take the field. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. Petty now. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Here's Petty. Complete to Stewart, right side. Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. They'll look to throw. Oh, that was dangerous. Threw it into coverage, almost picked. But instead, they'll keep it on second down. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. They'll look to throw here. And that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now just under 30 seconds to go in this first half.
When we start looking for big-time corners, we're going to start with athleticism. But without technique, you're not going to make plays as one we just saw there.
The Jets on third down. They're struggling. 0 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Back to throw. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And they pick up 25 as they convert on third. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. He hit his first. Now this from 43. And it is good. Oh, that one looked to be in trouble the whole way, but it does get over the bar. And a second field goal here gets them back within 11 now. It's 17-6. So a good kick there, and they finish off the drive with 3.
And that should be the goal for an offense. Finish each drive with points. So that's a nice job there to come away with at least something.
And with time running down, they go down to a knee. So we've come upon halftime here in Arrowhead with the Chiefs on top. As we'll send you down to Orlando as we check in with Larry Ridley and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Larry?
Thanks, Brandon, and welcome to the EA Halftime Report. I'm Larry Ridley. Let's take a look back at the first half. The Chiefs are happy to be sitting in the locker room with the lead. The Jets just want to come out after the half and claw their way back into the game. So here we go. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. Chiefs later on the drive. The pass is completed into tight coverage, and he caps off the 6-play drive with the score. As they go out in front, 10-0. Now 1st and 10. Completion will be made here to a wide-open man. And this 4-play drive goes for a touchdown. That puts them on top by 14.
All right, Larry, these two teams back out there as we get set and ready for this second half. This will be fielded at the 8. Ooh, with a juke. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Here comes the Chiefs offensive unit as they'll have it to begin quarter number 3. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. 23 yards on the play. First down and 10 now for the offensive group. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. The Chiefs on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 8. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll be brought down, it looks like, right at the 40. 6 yards on the pickup, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. Here's Dustin Colquitt now, as he'll come on to kick for a 6th time tonight. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
no, tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker board?
Yeah, those two. When we talk with people about what we think the most important quality for an NFL quarterback to possess, what do people usually say?
Arm strength, and he showed the arm strength there.
Yeah, pretty good bullet pass he threw, but he wasn't accurate, was he?
No.
Listen, you like mobility, but accuracy, first and foremost, is what a quarterback needs. He didn't possess it on that play.
Here we go. Blue 90.
And he fires one incomplete. Chad Hansen, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
We always talk about receivers. If the ball hits your hand, you're supposed to haul it in, but it is hard to adjust to a pass thrown a little bit behind you.
That one was all the momentum going forward. Couldn't contort his body back to grab it. The Jets on 3rd down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 10.
Here we go. Green 39.
And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. I don't know, he had to be pretty quick with his fingers to start and stop after the ball hit the ground. I'm giving him some credit.
Well, I'm thinking about the mental focus, you know?
Yeah.
The mental focus.
Yeah, that's true.
Got to stay with it.
That's true. Here's Lachlan Edwards now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. Able to avoid him at the 40. Oh, now he bowls him over. Call it an even 40-yard punt. 7, though, on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Now the Chiefs offense, they get ready to head on the field. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And he'll take this one up close to about the 45. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
Yeah, every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. His throw incomplete. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, 3rd quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
They'll wind up losing a full 10 yards on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down. Here's Dustin Colquitt now as he's on to punt for Kansas City. This is fielded at the 27. 35 yards that time on the punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The New York set to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
A gain of 6 there on first.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a second and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. On second down, Turner, and he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. A 3-yard pickup on 2nd and 4. Now they'll need to convert here on 3rd and a little more than a yard. That's some good tackling there to keep him short of that yellow line.
Yeah, and defensively, all I'm thinking is that on that play, get me to 3rd down. Get me into a position where I can make one more play and get my defense off the field.
On 3rd down, that's Turner. And this one's going to go the wrong way, losing yardage back at the 42. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
If these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Here's Lachlan Edwards now as he's on to punt for New York. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line. Here's the Kansas City offense now as they get set to take over. Well, they're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
And he'll find a little space. He gets us up near the 10. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
And that run, that changes the whole mentality about the drive right there. They were starting on their own 2-yard line. They just wanted enough space to pump the football successfully. Now they're talking about putting together a drive.
On play action, they'll throw. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
The Chiefs on 3rd down. Just a 20% success rate at 2 of 10. This is 3rd and 4.
Here we go now. Blue landed.
He'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. Here's Dustin Colquhoun now as he's on to punt for Kansas City. And taken at the 46. That'll go as a 42-yard punt, but a net of 32. They had a 10-yard return. And the Jets will have a short field to work with as they take over 1st and 10. And New York set to take the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
And he'll bring this one inside the 35. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is Can they seal the edge, whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end, in the direction they want to run the football? If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
The Jets on third down, a very anemic 1 for 9 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
On 3rd and 1, I think everyone in the stadium thought they'd try and run the football there, but they tried to surprise the defense and hit something through the air. Instead, it results in an incompletion.
Here's Lachlan Edwards now as he's on to punt for New York. And this will be out of bounds. Now it's a question of where they'll mark it. And they'll say it crosses at the 11-yard line. The Chiefs offense now making their way back onto the field. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
And able to find a little space. He gets this up over the 15 to the 16.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. And the Jets pressure too much as down he goes.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
He'll look to throw. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. Call it a gain of 3, and that's going to make it 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the 1st down sticks. Don't let them get there, and they rallied and made the tackle.
1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. We're back now in KC as we're about ready to rock and roll for the 4th and final quarter. Here's Dustin Colquitt now as he's on to punt for Kansas City. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. Fielded just inside the 20. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. And New York set to take the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
Second down following the incompletion. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and that'll bring up a third down.
Here we go. 3-19.
Out of the gun now on third down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Here's Lachlan Edwards now as he's on to punt for New York. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Chiefs are going to take over with a long field ahead and a 1st and 10. Out now the Chiefs offensive unit ready to do battle again. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners. And let's
nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They'll run it now out of the gun. Only 2 yards on the pickup there, and now they're looking at a long third down.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
Looking downfield, and that's caught right side. He's got his man. A very solid gain of 27. Fresh set of downs here.
Here we go.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And his throw here is incomplete. Second down now after the incompletion.
Here we go.
And some room to work. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll make it 3rd down. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Carter. And able to pick up the first across midfield to the 47. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs. And here comes play number 6 on this drive. Now they'll run it on the toss. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up 2nd.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
So the defense has put them in a tough spot. It's 2nd and long. the shotgun. He'll look to throw. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up third down.
I know for us it's fun, and it's not so much fun for the rookie receivers when we see them coming into the league and we're good training camps. You see them working on getting 2 feet down instead of 1. But the best ones train in college trying to get 2 down instead of 1, so the transition's a little bit less.
He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in 1 game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
Here's Dustin Colquitt now as he's on to punt for Kansas City. And this will be taken at the 13. 12 yards on the return that time. Now the Jets offense about set to take over as they head onto the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. And that's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
And it's a fumble. And it's picked up by the Chiefs. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
Brandon, I don't want to violate any of our broadcasting rules by declaring a game over before it's over. But that one, that puts them in real jeopardy there.
Absolutely. It was a 2-possession game. It is a 2-possession game at this stage in the fourth. They needed points out of that drive.
And obviously now, no chance at all to get those points that they so desperately needed.
Here again comes the captain of this offense leading his crew back out there now. And the stats on the screen tell the story. A great start. This defense, they've made some good adjustments, though. He's fallen off since.
Have to like what they did at the half, but you also have to like the fact that they hung in there. Despite the fact they had a tough first half, he was locked in, right? Rocking and rolling. They came out, made their adjustments, got their confidence back. Now they're causing him all sorts of trouble.
And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it.
And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off near the 29. Past the 20. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 and a Jet touchdown. Well, don't change that channel just yet. This one may have gotten a bit more interesting.
Put down the remote, put down the clicker. This one looked like it was over. It looked like they were ready to seal the deal. But in doing so, by pitching it around a little bit, it cost them. We could have a great finish.
All right, now a big 2-point conversion attempt still to come.
Let's go. Green 39. Green 39.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And he will get into the end zone as a 2-point conversion is successful. And the lead is down to a field goal here in the 4th. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This will be taken about the 12. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. So now here are the Chiefs as their offense makes their way back out onto the field. And following the pick 6, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick 6. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help them a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early. to let him get settled back in.
But they told us they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
Offense looking to avoid a 3rd and long. It's 2nd and 10. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. And a nice gain of 21 yards. This is something you got to be wary of defensively. I mean, just because they're in the mode of trying to burn some clock doesn't mean they won't pass it. They got good yardage out of that one.
Yeah, and really, when you're looking at it, now they've got a fresh set of downs. Look for 2nd down. If they want to take another shot and try and loosen things up, that'd be the time to do it.
All right, here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down. Well, at this stage, that's exactly what you want offensively. Good run on 1st down. Stay in bounds. Keep that clock rolling.
And look at that play chart that the play caller has in his hands right now. That's what you got to focus in on because that's divided up by sections. And right now, he's looking at that 4-minute offense section. What running plays do we have to bleed down the clock and take care of the football? Right now, they're executing really well.
They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down.
Here we go now.
He'll drop to throw. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
Here's Dustin Colquitt now as he's on to punt for Kansas City. That one sails out of bounds. The side judge will walk it off. And he says it went out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Nice punt. New York set to take the field. And a fumble last time. Ball security. Talk about it all the time in the National Football League. They've got to be better at it on this drive.
Don't you think that when every team gets together for the first time, I don't care if it's OTAs, mini camps, first day of camp in the regular season, ball security comes up about what, the 2nd sentence of the coach's address?
And those are so many drills focus on that.
All the time, and they do drills to make it even tougher to simulate game situations. Doesn't always work out, though. He's just not at his focus in this game. It's not 1 drop. It's not 2. That's 3 for this contest.
Yeah, uncharacteristic for any NFL receiver, and he's no exception. They'll set up to throw. He's got room to run past the 20. Over the middle, complete. That's Hansen. 14 yards is the pickup there and a Jet 1st down. Both teams working on short rest, but this has been one of the better Thursday night games we've seen as they come up here on 1st and 10. So it's Jets football as we get you reset here. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. So the offense has it 1st and 10. Back to throw here. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. Give him 3 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. 7 yards to go on 2nd down. Back to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. Jets on third down. They've been stymied left and right. Converted only one time. This is 3rd and 7.
Here we go now.
He'll look to throw. And he's unable to haul it in. So it falls incomplete over the middle third of the field. And that brings up 4th.
In the early days of the NFL, you could easily blame these drops on maybe some uneven or uncertain lighting in a stadium. Not anymore. The lights are pretty good.
Yeah, they're great here at night, but his second drop, indeed, not a good look. He's back to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off at the 48, and he's going to take this one back to the 37-yard line.
And that one, it's going to hurt big time. You're in the 2-minute drill trying to get your guys down the field, and it's looking like they're going to go up just short, as this is definitely not his best throw, and it'll wind up being intercepted.
And now here comes Kansas City. They have the 3-point lead. Defense did their job. Now, late game. Although it looks good, you know the coaches, they haven't counted this as a victory yet.
I agree with you totally. Big applause for the defense, but no one is taking their headset off on the sidelines. They don't believe this game is over. The offense has to close this one out by taking care of the football.
And they'll try to close it out now. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. And the offense will be looking to get at least some of this yardage back here. It's 2nd and 12.
Let's go. The 3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be stopped up quickly here at the 38. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this 4th quarter of play. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. Colquitt on to kick as he sends it away. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. And New York set to take the field. They're only in need of a field goal, a decent amount of time on the clock. So tell me if I'm wrong. You don't have to be too panicked here.
No, not at all. I agree with you. And this is where your preparation and your confidence comes into play. They've worked on these situations.
Yeah, they practice this all the time.
That's it, all the time. They know what they want to get done. And in a lot of cases, the great competitors, they...
And now nothing but green ahead of him. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. A big play there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Jets have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter.
Wow, I know it's a never-say-never situation, but to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
The score that puts them in front here late, but now you got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they want to make the last tackle. You mess up, could come back at you a long way.
Here's Chandler Catanzaro for the extra point. It's up and good to make it 21-17. And they're able to get the connection on the long touchdown pass. And that's one of the easiest drive summaries you'll ever see. One play, touchdown. Catanzaro out now as he'll kick this one away. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And now here comes Kansas City. They're down here in a one-score game. But the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late-game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
They have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. Well, these corners, I tell you, they've done excellent work all game long.
They remind me of guys in the past who just said, hey, throw it out here 100 times. Nothing good is going to happen. And if you throw it in the wrong place, I'll take it the other way.
Back to throw. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle third. He couldn't catch it. Now third down. So back-to-back incompletions, now 3rd and 10. And first things first, before you think about marching the ball down the field, you got to move the chains.
You're exactly right. Got to get back into focus here. Get the first down. That's what's vital to them.
So a 3rd and 10, and defensively, a dime look, 6 DBs. They'll look to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. This pass rush, they've been excellent all game long, and another example of it right there in the closing moment.
Not only with the pass rush, but how well they're coached, because if you don't quite get there, get to the quarterback, get your hands up into the passing lane and knock it away, as we just saw there.
Down 4 late, got to go for it here on 4th down. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And that's going to be just about all she wrote for this one. The D brought the house. They called the blitz, and they get to the quarterback, overwhelming the O-line.
And I would love to know, and we'll find out later on, was that called before the play? Or did they audible into it? Because defenses change plays as well as offenses. Sometimes they get the set they want. They go right to the blitz. And in this case, they nailed it. Got right to the quarterback. No chance on that 4th down.
New York set to take the field. They have the lead. Still a one-possession game, but the defense got to stop. They've got the football now. Just salted away, right?
Exactly. That's all the defense is counting on from their offense. They did their job in a big way. You know they're over on the sidelines now starting to take their tape off and, hey, we've done this thing. The offense has to put it away, and that means ball security.
Absolutely. Stranger things have happened. Now here's a defensive timeout called by the Chiefs. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. They'll keep it on the ground. Turner. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. On 3rd down, it's Turner, and he'll get it down this time to the 17. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. And Catanzaro's kick is right through. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So, Charles, I think from a defensive perspective, you have to look at that field goal there and consider it a win.
You were able to keep them within a touchdown, so no question about it. That was the kind of stand that keeps you in ball games.
Now, after the made field goal, Catanzaro to boot this one away on the kickoff. This is taken near the 13. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. And now here comes Kansas City. One possession game. Time very much a factor. How does the offense handle this situation?
Well, in a lot of cases, they should be somewhat relaxed. And I know that's counterintuitive because this is a pressure situation. But this is Friday practice every week of the season. You go over this situation, having to go downfield, limited timeouts, got to get out of bounds and keep the drive going and set yourself up. Defensively, you can't just lay back and let them do whatever they want. So it is a cat and mouse deal here. How much pressure will the defense bring, and how much pressure can the offense handle?
We're going to find out. And 3 full yards here for the offense to get on 3rd down.
Here we go now. Blue landing.
They're going to look to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Down 7, and they've got to go for it here on 4th down. One final shot. They'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And that'll be just about all she wrote for this one. And he'll have a tough time living that one down. It's one thing, Charles, to drop a pass. It's quite another to drop it on 4th down.
And so many teams work on that in terms of locking in on those key downs. You know, you and I have both been to practices where we've seen, hey, 3rd down situation, big 3rd down alert, lock in here, 4th down play, make sure you're focused just a little bit extra. It didn't pay off in that situation.
A great come-from-behind victory in this one, Charles, and really the difference, obviously, was that 4th quarter. They dominated.
And it has to start with believing that you can make that comeback. Because we've been in games before. We've done games where you just look at one team and realize they have no chance of making it back. Not in the one we just saw here. They did it, and they did it well.
So for the Jets, it's a nice win to finish off what's been an ugly first half as they move to 2-6. And now they'll have a few extra days before they face the Rams next week. Meanwhile, for Kansas City, the struggles intensify as they drop to 2-6 now on the year. And they will be at home next week to take on the Miami Dolphins. So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say good night from Kansas City.